All righty, Aleyah. How's it going this morning?
I'm doing well, It's Darlene, correct? I want to make sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yep.
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking, Aleyah. And thank you for joining me this morning. I'm excited to talk to you because you have a great career. I'm sorry, a professional career as I can see in your resume. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So,
Awesome.
Aleyah, if you don't mind, tell me a little bit about your professional experience.
Yeah, so I've worked in the senior executive or just executive assistant role for over 6 years now. I first started out as just like an admin, and then I just built my way up through there with a company that I worked for about I think 8 years or so. I recently just graduated with my bachelor's in business or bachelor's of science in business management, and with a minor of administration and like entrepreneurship. Um, and that in itself was a journey, but I was able to graduate within 2 years with that. So I honestly like so grateful for that. In my last couple of roles, I have been in management positions, but I love basically just starting from the ground up with a company and just building my way up from there. I have lots of experience, like I said, over 7 or 6 plus years of administration, and I feel like that's definitely like my strong suit. I love assisting, making someone else's job easier however I can, just being like that right hand person in any which way. So that's just a little bit about me.
Absolutely. And congrats on all of your achievements. That's
Thank you.
major.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. You're welcome. Now, Aleyah, I'm looking at your resume. I have it pulled up here, and I'm looking at one particular role over at New Life Tabernacle. You
Yes.
were senior executive administrative assistant. You were there for about 6 years or so.
Mhm.
Kind of tell me a little bit about what your day-to-day looked like.
Yeah, so day to day, again, that's actually the company that where I had built my way up to the senior exec role, and so my day to day honestly just looked as just managing tasks. I was over about 10 different programs, so just managing like the ins and outs, I guess you can say like the budgets with those programs. I was answering calls, setting up like travel appointments, setting also working on like I was kind of like a project manager, I would say mainly in that role as well, where I took on lots of different projects and I just managed them with efficiency and excellence as best as I could. And all like in that, I definitely grew to have a mentor, and she trained me in so many different ways. And I can definitely say without her, I would not be the person that you see here today. She's definitely helped me like lock in with the strong suits of what it is to be an executive assistant, and just how to assist and just serve in that way. I feel like I've always had like a servant's heart, but now I have more of an understanding of what it is to be a servant's heart in the business world. You know what I mean? So I was definitely honored and so grateful for the years that I worked there. Definitely learned how to delegate. That was honestly um, one of the things that I lacked at the time. And so now I'm just learning how to delegate better, but also keeping that team effort, teamwork. I love working with others. I love collaborating with others. I know there's definitely a time and place for it. So, but I feel like it's great when a team is unified so that way we can lean on each other here and there. And that's definitely something that I've learned with that role.
That's incredible. And hearing how you were able to blossom to who you are
Yes.
now, thankfully, you had a wonderful mentor who was able to mold you to that. And now you took it, for yourself and you're applying that. So beautiful testimony in
Thank
itself.
you.
Absolutely. We know that with these executive assistant or administrative roles, we have to have consistent communication or even effective and clear communication. So,
Right.
how do you ensure that you have that clear and effective communication with an executive or a manager who may have a busy schedule?
Right. I honestly would ask first, and this is something that I had done with my boss at the time, is just asking first how they like to be communicated, whether that's via text, email, just popping in and giving them like a rundown of some of the things that I've completed, or how can I assist them? How can I, take on some tasks that they're, any miscellaneous tasks that they're putting off, just so they can work on their prioritized task at hand. Just making sure that we have a clear understanding of like, how would they like to be communicated? And at the end of the day, how can we just ensure that, the task that you have set out for your day, it's done and taken care of, basically. One of the ways that I was able to assist my former boss at that time was she loved emails and she liked daily text. Sometimes we'll just have, a one-on-one meeting either at the top of the day or at the end of the day, just to get a clear understanding of, okay, these are the tasks at hand and let's see how we can knock it out, type of thing. So even that, seeing if my manager at the time would like to do a meeting at the top of the week or at the top of every day, just to lay out like, what are some things that has to get done, what's prioritized, what's something that, hey, we could probably do that like later on in the week, and just seeing how we can just collaborate in that effort.
Absolutely. And what stood out to me the most was how you mentioned that you asked, how do we like to be communicated? And you communicated via email and then daily text as well. So I think that's a great strategy to have as well. And so I know that with these rules, we're either faced with deadlines and last minute requests. So how do you prioritize and ensure that everything has been completed on time?
Yeah, that's a great question. What I would say is what I typically do is just look at the task at hand that I have that was given to me. And then again, I would probably go to the manager and be like, okay, so we obviously see, we obviously see that there's many things that need to get done. What are some pressing matters that you want me to prioritize in the meantime? And then, later on in the day, we'll just go down, kind of just like organizing the different tasks and kind of putting them into like different pots in a sense. And then go from there. I feel like it's kind of like you're doing a brain dump in the beginning and then just organizing as you go and then just checking things off your to-do list. I feel like honestly, we are all visual learners and visual type of people. So I feel like once we see the different things at hand, but just organized in a well manner, I feel like we can just knock it out easily. So I guess that's how I would prioritize it, is just laying everything out, communicating with my manager saying, hey, what's like major priority right now, like right this instant, if we had to get it done within an hour, what are those things? And just organizing it in that way, and then just going down the to-do list and knocking it out that way.
That's amazing. And thank you for sharing that. And so I'm sure that you use a few systems in your previous roles. What are some systems that you're familiar with using?
I am very familiar with using anything Microsoft. So any of the Microsoft suites, like Office, Word, Excel. And then I'm also good with Google, any of the Google suites as well. For team communication, I've used Slack in the past. I've used Team, I forgot what it's called. I think it's Teams. I think that's what it is. Yeah. I've used Zoom many, many times. I would say I've used quite a few. There's a couple that I'm thinking of, but I cannot remember the name of it. I should have probably written it down, but those are like the main ones that I'm pretty used to. And I use honestly on a daily in my personal life as well.
Wonderful. And how about, I'm not sure if I missed it, but Excel spreadsheets? Are you familiar with using it? Can you make a spreadsheet on your own if asked?
Yes, I can. Excel, I feel like I have a love-hate relationship with Excel because I feel like everybody does. Because every time like I would, talk to someone else or another colleague with Excel, they say the same exact thing. But yes, I can. It's definitely an interesting suit for both Microsoft and Google. So, but
that's great. I agree. So when it comes to perhaps doing a format, help me out, but I can do the basics when it comes down to spreadsheets.
Right.
So
Right.
definitely love-hate relationship. Aleyah, my last question for you is, how soon were you looking to start a new position?
Yeah, I am looking as soon as next week. I do have some other candidates and some other roles that I have been interviewing with and just waiting to hear back and things like that. So, but for everyone that I so far I've been saying as soon as next week. And yeah, that's the earliest.
That's amazing. Well, Aleyah, thank you so much for your time this morning. It's been a pleasure speaking to you and getting to know your professional
Yeah,
experience.
thank you so much, Darlene, for this opportunity.
You're very welcome. I do want to ask, Aleyah, can you stay in the line with me really quickly? I want to chat with you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you so much.